Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you have these three completed at this point. You should. Now it's a matter of just checking your solutions to see how they go. So if I work through and solve this, I should get 3 is less than x, which is less than 6. Again, make sure you're working on all 3 sides. Then graphing that, I have open circles for both because I don't have the equal to, one at 3, one at 6, and I'm shading between. Okay, for the second one, for number 4, I should get 6 is greater than or equal to x, which is greater than 4. Okay, now again, graphing that, I have to look a little carefully. These are greater than symbols, but that's good because this one's the biggest. So 6 is greater than x, which is greater than 4. Again, it still graphs the same. You're in between. The 4 does not have an equal to, so we should have an open circle there. 6 does have an equal to, so we're going to close that circle, and we want to graph between. Okay, that's how those two should finish. Your actual answer and its graph. Okay, check your work. If those didn't go well, please raise your hand so that I can come over and help you to look and see what happened and what mistakes you might be making. Okay, in number 5, it asks if something is a solution. We have many ways to do this, but the way I really want you to start thinking about checking if something is a solution is not to actually do the solving, but to truly plug it in and check if it's a solution. 4. Is 4 a solution? We're going to put 4 for x and see if the inequality is true. So I have negative 10 is less than or equal to negative 2 times 4, which is less than or equal to 14. Is this true? We want to know. If it is, then we've found a solution. Then 4 is a solution. This is the work that we should be seeing. Okay, show me that you plug it in. Simplify, get negative 10 is less than or equal to negative 8, which is less than or equal to 14. Okay, negative 8. Is that between negative 10 and 14? Yeah, it is. So yes, 4 is a solution to that inequality, that compound inequality. Okay, if you solved it, you likely found that it wasn't because you probably didn't made the mistake, unless you're really good already at the extension problems. You probably made a mistake that shows that will be clarified here in the extension. Okay, we're going to go ahead and continue on to the extension. Please do make all effort to do these extension problems. They are not any more difficult. They just have one little piece of knowledge that you need, and you hopefully learned it the first time, but here's a second time. What you need to be careful about when you're solving inequalities is one key thing. Normally, it's nothing different than an equation, but there's one slight difference, and that's when you multiply or divide by a negative number. Okay, when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to know that you need to switch all of the signs. Okay? Other than that, it's the matter of just solving. But you need to have that knowledge that when I multiply or divide by a negative, in order to keep the statement true, I must change my inequality symbols. So here, solving this compound inequality, I see it's a sandwich, so there's 3 sides. So I have to do the same thing on all 3 sides. It's negative 2 times x, so I'm going to divide by negative 2. And as I wrote that, was thinking I am dividing by a negative 2. When I divide by a negative, I need to switch all signs. So this said less than, I'm going to write it as greater than. This says less than, I'm going to write it as greater than. Okay? I have an x alone in the middle. Negative 4 divided by negative 2 is 2. 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4. Okay, now we have 2 is greater than x, which is greater than negative 4. So we have negative 4, my 0, because I want to make sure I have my 0 in the graph there. Okay, 0 should be closer to the 2 than it is to the negative 4. I want the values between, not including 2, not including 4, because I don't have the equal to. So open circles at both of those places, and graph between. Okay, there's a you try it, but I'm going to go ahead and work with you on this one just to make sure we understand what's going on. So here as we solve, we have an or, which means solve them individually. They're separate. We're going to just solve them as we need to. So I'm going to go ahead and solve that first one. First step, looking at it, there's no distribution, no combining like terms, no moving variables to the left. Undo addition or subtraction. There's this positive 4 that I'm going to undo by subtracting it. Okay, when I do that, I'm left with a negative 3x. And then keeping the symbol, I haven't done anything to change the symbol. 8 minus 4 is 4. Okay, next step to get x alone is it's multiplying, so I'm going to divide by a negative 3. Okay, as soon as I'm seeing that, I'm thinking I better remember to change my sign. Dividing by negative 3 on both sides. So my sign was greater than. I'm going to switch it to less than. And I have x left on the left, and I have negative 4/3 on the right. Okay, I changed the sign because I divided by a negative. I keep the word or. Now I'm going to solve this other inequality. Okay, similarly, I'm going to have a positive 6 here, so I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. I'm left with 2x is greater than or equal to 9. To solve to get x, I need to divide by 2. And I have x is greater than or equal to. Notice I'm not changing the sign this time. I divided by a positive 2. The sign is going to stay the same. And 9 divided by 2 is 9/2. Oops, I should have 2 there. Okay. Now, this is negative, this is positive. Okay, I could just simply graph it that way. 4/3, that's 1 1/3, so negative 4/3 is over here. 0. 9/2 is 4.5, so it's further away from the 0. So I'm going to go ahead and put the 9/2 a little further away from the 0. Okay, 4/3 has less than but not equal to, so I'm going to put an open circle there. Less than grabs me to the left. Greater than or equal to 9/2, so I need a closed circle there. And I'm going to go greater than, so to the right. Okay, there's not a big difference with the extension, but the one piece you have to be careful about is what's highlighted at the top. When you're multiplying or dividing by a negative number, be sure to switch your sign. Okay, at this point, I want you to take this time, and I want you to be working on practice 2. Okay, so go ahead and quit the video and spend this time working on practice 2. Again, as you complete it, please show it to me, or if you run into questions, please raise your hand so I can help you to work on it.